I'm still processing what happened, and I don't even know where to start. My whole life feels like a lie right now. My Aunt Sarah, Mom's sister, 52F, has been battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer for the past 6 months. The doctors gave her maybe 2 to 3 months left. She's been staying with us, me 24F, my mom Janet 49F, my dad Rick 51M, so we can help take care of her during her final weeks. Yesterday, Sarah asked to speak with me privately. She seemed really agitated and kept saying she had something important to tell me before it was too late. I figured she wanted to give me some family jewelry or share memories or something. What she told me instead has completely shattered everything I thought I knew about my family. My cousin Marcus, 22M, isn't actually my cousin. He's my brother. My full biological brother. And my Aunt Sarah isn't his aunt. She's his mother. His birth mother. According to Sarah, when she was 16 and my mom was 27, Sarah got pregnant by some guy who immediately disappeared when he found out. This was 1999, and my grandparents, very religious, very strict, were absolutely furious. They wanted Sarah to give the baby up for adoption to strangers. But my mom, who had been trying to get pregnant with my dad for years with no success, offered to adopt the baby and raise him as her own. My grandparents agreed because it kept the baby in the family and saved face in their religious community. When Sarah gave birth, my parents immediately took Marcus home from the hospital. They told everyone that my mom had given birth to him. Sarah was sent to live with relatives in another state for her senior year of high school, so no one would question the timeline. 2 years later, my parents got pregnant with me naturally. So Marcus and I grew up thinking we were cousins who were close in age, when we're actually brother and sister. Sarah said she's been watching her son being raised by her sister for 22 years, pretending to be his cool aunt instead of his mother. She said it's been torture, but she agreed to it because she was young and thought it was best for everyone. But now she's dying, and she can't take this secret with her to the grave. I asked her if Marcus knows. She said no, and neither does my dad. Apparently, my mom made her swear to never tell anyone, not even my dad. My mom told my dad that she was pregnant, and he never questioned it. So my dad has been raising another man's child for 22 years thinking it's his biological son. I asked Sarah why she was telling me this, and not Marcus himself. She broke down crying and said she's too much of a coward. She said she hoped I would help her figure out how to tell him, or maybe tell him myself after she's gone. Reddit, I am completely devastated. My whole family is built on a lie. Marcus isn't my cousin, he's my brother. My mom has been lying to all of us, including her own husband, for over 2 decades. My dad doesn't know he's not Marcus's biological father. I don't know what to do with this information. Do I tell Marcus? Do I confront my mom? Do I tell my dad? Sarah is dying and she's begging me to help her make this right, but how do you make something like this right? I've been looking at Marcus differently ever since. We've always been close. He's one of my best friends. But now I'm seeing him as my brother instead of my cousin, and it's so weird. We have the same eyes. How did I never notice that before? And I keep looking at my mom and feeling so angry. How could she lie about something this huge? How could she let my dad believe Marcus was his son? How could she let Sarah suffer in silence all these years? I'm supposed to be helping plan Sarah's end-of-life care, but all I can think about is this bombshell she dropped on me. What would you do in this situation? I feel like no matter what I choose, I'm going to destroy my family. Edit, a lot of people are asking why my parents couldn't have kids initially, but then had me. My mom had endometriosis, which made it hard to conceive, but it's not impossible. After treatment, she was able to get pregnant with me. Edit 2. Some people are questioning whether this is real because of the timing. But please remember that in 1999, social media wasn't a thing. People couldn't just look up hospital records or birth announcements online. It was much easier to hide a pregnancy/birth back then. Edit 3. For those asking about physical resemblance, Marcus looks a lot like my mom's side of the family. He has the same dark hair and brown eyes that Sarah and my mom have. My dad is blonde with blue eyes, but genetics can be funny. No one ever questioned it. Update 1, 2 weeks ago. The situation has exploded in ways I never could have imagined. First, Thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. The support and advice really helped me think through this impossible situation. I decided I had to talk to my mom first before doing anything else. I couldn't carry this secret alone anymore, and I felt like she owed me an explanation after 24 years of lying. I waited until my dad was at work and Sarah was napping. The cancer has made her very weak. She sleeps most of the day now. I sat my mom down and told her I knew the truth about Marcus. You guys, my mom's reaction was not what I expected.
She didn't deny it.
She didn't act surprised. She just looked at me for a long moment and said, "Sarah told you." It wasn't a question. She knew exactly what I was talking about. Then my mom broke down completely, like sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. She kept saying, "I'm sorry," over and over again. When she finally calmed down enough to talk, she told me her side of the story. According to my mom, Sarah wasn't just some teenager who made a mistake. She was in an abusive relationship with a 25-year-old man when she was only 16. He was emotionally manipulative and had convinced Sarah to keep their relationship secret from the family. When Sarah got pregnant, the guy not only abandoned her, but also threatened her. He said if she ever tried to contact him or ask for child support, he would tell everyone she was a slut who tried to trap him. This was a small religious community where reputation was everything. My mom said Sarah was completely broken. She was suicidal during her pregnancy. My grandparents wanted to force her to give the baby to strangers, but my mom was terrified that Sarah would hurt herself if they took her baby away completely.
So my mom came up with a plan.
Sarah could give birth and recover emotionally while my mom raised the baby. Sarah would still be in Marcus's life as his aunt, so she wouldn't lose him completely, but she wouldn't have the pressure of raising a child at 16 with no support. My mom said she never intended to lie to my dad, but when she told him she was pregnant, he was so happy that she couldn't bring herself to tell him the truth. She kept meaning to tell him, but then I came along, and Marcus felt like her real son anyway, and the years just kept passing. Here's the part that really got to me. My mom said she has loved Marcus like her own son from the moment he was born. She said the only reason she agreed to the arrangement was because she knew she would love him and protect him like her own child. It wasn't just about helping Sarah. She wanted to be his mom. But she also said living with this secret has been killing her for 22 years. She's watched Sarah struggle with depression and addiction issues, which I didn't know about. Sarah has been sober for 8 years now. She's watched my dad pour his heart into raising a son who isn't biologically his. She's watched Marcus grow up not knowing his real mother. My mom begged me not to tell anyone else. She said it would destroy our family and hurt too many people. She said Sarah is dying anyway, so maybe we should just let the secret die with her. But here's the thing that made me realize I couldn't stay quiet. My mom mentioned that Marcus has been talking about having kids with his girlfriend Emma soon. They've been together for 3 years and just got engaged. Marcus wants kids. And he has no idea that there's a whole medical history he doesn't know about. Sarah's father, my grandfather, died of a rare genetic condition that can be passed down. Marcus has no idea he might carry that gene because he thinks his medical history comes from my dad's side. I told my mom that Marcus has a right to know his real medical history, especially if he's planning to have children. She got angry and said I was being naive, that some secrets are better left buried. That night, I made my decision. I was going to tell Marcus myself, but I didn't get the chance, because Sarah told him first. I came home from work the next day to find Marcus sitting in our living room looking like he'd been hit by a truck. His eyes were red, and he looked completely shell-shocked. Sarah was sitting across from him, still in her pajamas and robe, looking exhausted but relieved.
My mom was nowhere to be found.
I later learned she had locked herself in her bedroom and refused to come out. Marcus looked at me and said, "Did you know?" I told him I had just found out. He nodded and said, "Sarah told me everything." We sat there in silence for the longest time. Finally, Marcus said, "I don't know how to process this. Sarah's my mom. Your mom isn't really my mom. Your dad isn't really my dad. You're my sister, not my cousin." Then he said something that broke my heart. "I don't know who I am anymore." Sarah tried to explain her reasons just like my mom had explained to me. But Marcus wasn't ready to hear it. He said he needed time to think and left. He's been staying with his girlfriend Emma for the past week. He won't return my calls or texts. My mom finally came out of her room, but she won't talk to me. She's furious that I forced Sarah to tell Marcus by confronting her about it. My dad still doesn't know. He keeps asking why everyone is acting weird and where Marcus is. We keep making excuses. Sarah's health has gotten worse since she told Marcus. I think the stress and emotional exhaustion of finally telling the truth has taken a toll on her body. The hospice nurse says it might only be days now. I'm scared Sarah is going to die before Marcus has a chance to forgive her or at least talk to her again. And I still don't know if I should tell my dad the truth. This whole situation is a nightmare and it's only getting worse. Edit. A lot of people are asking about the genetic condition I mentioned. It's Huntington's disease. My grandfather was diagnosed in his 50s and died when I was very young. There's a 50% chance that Sarah carries the gene, and if she does, there's a 50% chance Marcus inherited it. This is exactly the kind of medical information Marcus needs to know. Edit 2. Some people are criticizing me for forcing this situation. But Marcus deserves to know his medical history, especially with Huntington's disease in the family. That's not something you keep secret from someone who wants to have children. Update 2. 1 week ago. Sarah died 3 days ago. Marcus came to the hospital during her last day. I don't know what they talked about, but he held her hand when she passed away. He's been a wreck ever since. The funeral was yesterday. It was complicated. Marcus gave a eulogy where he called Sarah his aunt who became his mother. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. He talked about how she always made time for him, always listened to his problems, always supported his dreams. He said he understood now why she seemed to love him differently than other aunts love their nephews. But he also said he wished she had trusted him with the truth sooner so they could have had more time together as mother and son. My mom sobbed through the entire service. I think seeing Marcus grieve for Sarah as his mother made it real for her in a way it hadn't been before. After the funeral, Marcus finally came home. But everything is different now. He's not angry anymore, just sad. Really, really sad. He keeps looking at family photos and pointing out things he never noticed before. How Sarah's eyes light up when she's looking at him in pictures. How she's always standing close to him at family gatherings. How she never missed a single one of his baseball games or school events, even when other relatives did. He said he always felt like Sarah understood him better than anyone else, and now he knows why. But the hardest part for Marcus is my mom. He doesn't know how to feel about her anymore. He loves her. She raised him, and she's the only mother he's ever known. But he's also hurt that she lied to him his whole life. Yesterday, Marcus asked my mom why she never told him the truth. My mom said she was protecting him, protecting all of us. She said she was scared that if he knew the truth, he would love her less or want to leave our family. Marcus told her that wasn't fair. He said she took away his choice to know his real mother while Sarah was alive. He said he would have loved them both, Sarah as his birth mother and my mom as the mother who raised him, but now Sarah is gone, and it's too late. That made my mom cry even harder. But here's the thing that's really been weighing on me. My dad still doesn't know. Marcus asked me if Dad knows the truth. When I told him no, Marcus got this look on his face that I've never seen before. He said, "So Dad's been lied to this whole time too." I think Marcus is starting to realize that my mom didn't just lie to him. She lied to everyone. My dad has spent 22 years loving and raising a son, never knowing that Marcus isn't biologically his. Marcus said he doesn't know if he should tell Dad or not. He's worried it will break Dad's heart. But he's also angry that Mom has been lying to her own husband for over 2 decades. I asked Marcus how he feels about Dad now, knowing the truth. He said Dad will always be his father in every way that matters, but he feels guilty that Dad doesn't know he's been tricked, his word, into raising another man's child. We decided we need to tell Dad together. We can't keep lying to him when everyone else knows the truth now. We're planning to sit him down this weekend. But I'm terrified. My dad adores Marcus. They have such a close relationship. What if learning that Marcus isn't his biological son changes how he feels? What if he feels betrayed by my mom? What if this destroys my parents' marriage? On the other hand, Dad deserves to know the truth. And maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe he'll say that biology doesn't matter and Marcus is his son no matter what. I just don't know how to predict how someone will react to finding out their entire family is built on a lie. The other thing that's been bothering me is that we still don't know who Marcus's biological father is. Sarah took that secret to the grave. Marcus has been asking about him, wondering if he has other siblings out there, or if his father even knows he exists. My mom claims she doesn't know who the father was. She says Sarah never told her his name. But I'm starting to wonder if my mom has been lying about that too. I found some of Sarah's old journals in her room while we were cleaning out her things. Most of it is typical teenage stuff, but there are some entries from when she was pregnant that mention someone named David. She writes about being scared to tell David about the pregnancy, about David getting angry when she told him, about David threatening her. I haven't told Marcus about the journals yet. I don't know if it's my place to share that information, especially when Sarah clearly wanted to keep his father's identity secret. But part of me thinks Marcus deserves to know everything, even if it's painful. This whole situation has made me question everything about my family. How many other secrets are there? How many other lies? I used to think we were a close, honest family. Now I feel like I don't know my own mother at all. Edit. People keep asking why I think my dad deserves to know. It's not just about Marcus. My mom has been lying to her husband for 22 years. That's a betrayal of their marriage, regardless of the reasons. My dad has a right to make his own decisions about his relationship based on the truth. Edit 2. For those asking about genetic testing for Huntington's disease, Marcus is going to get tested, but he wants to wait until after we tell my dad everything. He says he can't handle any more life-changing information right now. Final update today. We told my dad last night. I don't think I'll ever forget the look on his face when we explained the truth. Marcus and I sat him down after dinner and told him we had something important to discuss. Dad could tell it was serious. He kept looking back and forth between us with this worried expression. Marcus started by saying, "Dad, I need you to know that you're my father in every way that matters, and that will never change no matter what we tell you tonight." Dad's face went white. I think he thought Marcus was going to tell him he was gay or in trouble with the law or something. Then Marcus said, "But you're not my biological father. And Mom has been lying to you about it for 22 years. Dad just stared at us. He didn't say anything for the longest time. Finally, he said, "What do you mean?" So we told him everything. About Sarah being Marcus's real mother. About the pregnancy, when she was 16. About Mom taking Marcus from the hospital and pretending she had given birth to him. About the lie being maintained for over 2 decades. Dad listened to the whole story without interrupting. His face went through so many emotions: confusion, shock, hurt, anger, and something that looked like relief. When we finished talking, Dad was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Where's your mother?" Mom had been hiding in the bedroom since dinner, probably knowing what was coming. Dad went upstairs, and we could hear them talking in raised voices for over an hour. When they came back down, Mom's eyes were red and puffy from crying.
Dad looked exhausted.
Dad sat down and looked at Marcus. He said, "Son, I want you to know that this changes nothing between us. You're my boy, and you always will be. Biology doesn't make a father. Love and commitment do. I've been your dad for 22 years, and I'll be your dad for the rest of my life if you'll have me." Marcus started crying and hugged Dad. It was honestly beautiful to watch. But then Dad turned to Mom, and his expression was very different. "Janet," he said, "we need to talk about this lie you've been living for half our marriage." Mom tried to explain her reasons again, protecting everyone, not wanting to hurt anyone, being scared. But Dad wasn't having it. He said, "You lied to me about having a baby. You let me believe I was Marcus's biological father. You watched me worry about passing on genetic conditions for my family to him. You let me take him to father-son events and brag about how he got my athletic ability. You made me complicit in your lie without my knowledge or consent. Then Dad said something that really surprised me, and you took away my choice to love him purely for who he is instead of who I thought he was genetically. Dad explained that he would have loved Marcus just as much if he had known the truth from the beginning. But Mom's lie made their whole relationship feel false, even though the love was real. Dad said he felt betrayed not just as Marcus's father, but as Mom's husband. He said he couldn't trust her anymore because if she could lie about something this huge for 22 years, what else might she be lying about? Mom broke down and swore she had never lied about anything else, but Dad said it didn't matter. The trust was broken. Then Dad asked the question I was dreading. Who is Marcus's biological father? Mom said she didn't know, that Sarah never told her. But Dad didn't believe her. He said, "You planned an elaborate scheme to take custody of a baby and hide the pregnancy from an entire community, but you never asked who the father was? That doesn't make sense." Mom insisted she was telling the truth, but I could see doubt in Dad's eyes. That's when I made a decision that I'm still not sure was right. I told them about the journals I found in Sarah's room, about the entries mentioning someone named David. Mom's face went completely white when I said that name. Dad noticed her reaction immediately. "You know who David is," he said. Mom tried to deny it, but Dad pressed her. Finally, she admitted that she did know Marcus's biological father's identity. His name is David Chun. He was 25 when Sarah was 16. He worked at the hardware store in town and was married with a baby of his own. According to Mom, David had been grooming Sarah for months before their relationship became physical. When Sarah told him she was pregnant, he panicked and threatened her. He said if she ever told anyone he was the father, he would claim she seduced him and destroy her reputation. He also threatened to leave his wife and baby, making Sarah feel responsible for breaking up his family. Mom said Sarah was so scared and ashamed that she begged Mom never to reveal David's identity to anyone. But here's the kicker. David still lives in our town. He never moved away. His wife never found out about the affair. He's been living his life like nothing happened while Sarah carried the secret and the trauma for 22 years. Marcus was very quiet while Mom told us about David. Finally, he asked, "Does he know I exist?" Mom said she didn't think so. Sarah never contacted him after she told him about the pregnancy. Marcus asked if David had other children. Mom said yes. The baby David had when he was with Sarah is now 22 years old. Plus David and his wife had 2 more kids after that. So Marcus has 3 half-siblings in the same town who have no idea he exists. Dad asked if Marcus wanted to contact David. Marcus said he didn't know. He said part of him wanted to confront David about abandoning his mother, but part of him didn't want anything to do with someone who would threaten a pregnant teenager. Then Marcus asked the question that's been haunting me. What if David's other kids want to know they have a brother? What if they deserve to know the truth too? We don't have an answer for that. Dad said he needed time to process everything and went for a long walk. He came back hours later and said he would be staying at his brother's house for a few days while he figured out what to do about his marriage. Mom begged him not to leave, but Dad said he couldn't even look at her right now without thinking about 22 years of lies. This morning, Dad came by to talk to Marcus. He told Marcus that no matter what happened between him and Mom, Marcus would always be his son, and he would always be there for him. Marcus asked Dad if he was going to divorce Mom. Dad said he honestly didn't know. He said the betrayal was so deep that he didn't know if their marriage could survive it. As for Marcus, he's been researching Huntington's disease and genetic testing. He decided he wants to get tested before he and Emma get married, which I think is smart. He's also been thinking about David and his half-siblings. Marcus found them on social media. They all still live in town, and one of them even went to our high school. She's 2 years younger than me. Marcus said it's weird knowing he has siblings he's never met, especially when they live so close by. I asked him if he's planning to reach out to them.
He said he doesn't know.
He's worried about disrupting their lives and their family, but he's also curious about them. Part of me thinks those kids deserve to know they have a brother, especially if there are genetic conditions to worry about. But part of me thinks it's not our secret to tell. As for me, I'm still processing everything. My family has completely imploded in the span of 3 weeks. My parents might get divorced. My brother/cousin is struggling with his identity. My aunt/his mother is dead. But weirdly, I also feel relieved. The truth is finally out. No more secrets, no more lies. It's messy and painful, but at least it's honest. I've learned that family isn't just about blood or even about who raises you. It's about truth, trust, and unconditional love. My mom loved Marcus unconditionally, but she didn't trust him with the truth. Sarah loved Marcus unconditionally too, but she was too scared to claim him as her son. My dad might not be Marcus's biological father, but he's shown more unconditional love and acceptance in the past week than anyone else in this whole mess. Maybe that's what real family looks like. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know if my parents will stay together. I don't know if Marcus will contact his biological father or half-siblings. I don't know if our family will ever feel normal again. But I do know that we're all going to be okay. The truth might have shattered our family, but maybe we can build something stronger and more honest from the pieces. Edit. A lot of people are asking about Emma, Marcus's fiancée, and how she's handling this. She's been incredibly supportive. She told Marcus that she fell in love with who he is, not who his parents are. She's been encouraging him to get genetic testing and has offered to postpone the wedding if he needs more time to process everything. Edit 2. For those wondering about Sarah's journals, I gave them all to Marcus. I figured they belong to him now, as her son. He's been reading through them slowly. He says it's helping him understand what his mother went through, but it's also painful to read about her struggles. Edit 3. Thank you to everyone who has been following this story and offering support. It's been helpful to have an outlet to process everything that's happened. This community has been more supportive than some of my actual family members. Edit 4. Update on my parents. Dad came home last night. He and Mom are going to try marriage counseling. Dad says he loves Mom but doesn't trust her, and they need professional help to work through that. It's a start. TLDR. My dying aunt confessed that my cousin Marcus is actually her son, and my mom has been lying about it for 22 years. Marcus isn't my cousin, he's my brother. My mom pretended to give birth to him when she actually adopted him from my aunt. My dad didn't know Marcus wasn't his biological son. The truth has come out, and our family is completely shattered, but we're working on rebuilding with honesty this time. My aunt died before she could have a real relationship with her son, which is the saddest part of all of this.